Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of IBA Today podcast, Let's Talk. This is your host, Mohammad Afan, and today we have a special guest for a special episode. IBA Today has always worked for the betterment of our student body. And for this purposes, we have huge number of requests from number of students who wanted us to do a complete episode on the IBA admission process. And for this purpose, we brought a special guest who has the most experience that I would personally would know in general, more than 25 years of experience in his field, and an IB alumni, a gold medalist in his time, and more or less a director at Anis Hussain, and one of the most pioneers and the oldest institution at test prep centers, Mr. Salman Ghaffar. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Afan?
बिल्कुल ठीक Mr. Salman, I showed you the whole studio. How did you feel? मतलब like from your time at IBA and from now, how has it been in general?
It's
Changed.
beautiful. It's beautiful. I think IBA now has one of the most advanced campuses. It's a beautiful campus. In fact, whenever we as friends meet, the old friends we meet, we talk about how much IBA has changed from our time. जब हम IBA में थे, the year I got in, that was 95, end of 95. We did our 4 years from 96 to 99. I was at the university campus. वहाँ पे पूरे campus में total 400 लोग थे. That's it. 400 students put all the groups together, you got 400 people, so you knew almost everybody. There was the admin block, there was the academic block, बीच में एक auditorium था जो कि बहुत पोसीदा हालत में था, कोई वहाँ जाता नहीं था, बाहर फोटोकॉपियर साहब बैठे हुए थे, नदीम साहब और सुहेल भाई, और बराबर में there was the library जिसके ऊपर लिखा था बड़ा बड़ा readers are leaders, and that's it. और बीच में एक बहुत बड़ा लॉन था, उसके ऊपर लिखा हुआ था do not step onto the grass.
अभी भी वही लिखा हुआ है खैर. I think that's something that has not changed till now in I think more than 20 years.
Yes, it's
So-
some things never change, I guess.
More or less, coming from your time in general, how did you prepare for your admission process or admission test at Anis Hussain?
So हमारे ज़माने में the test used to take place in November. So I did my A levels June, July 95, and then I asked a few of the seniors from school जिन्होंने IB में दाखिला ले लिया था. I asked them, yeah, I want to go to IB as well. Can you recommend where should I go? And they said, well, we went to Anis Hussain and this was good, so you can join there. So I went to Anis Hussain. I asked him. उस वक्त उनका एक घर था 7th Commercial Street पे, DHA Phase 4 में रहते थे. छोटा सा घर था. I was completely dedicated to teaching. So I went there, met him, liked the environment, sat down and started working. And that's how I joined Anis Hussain. I didn't even know at that point कोई और तैयारी कराता है कि नहीं कराता. And I think it was a great decision. I'm still with Anis Hussain. It's been 25 years since that happened. So I remember the call that I made to him. I remember the call that when he called me back to confirm that yes, he was going to start a course. I still remember the first time I heard his voice, and I meet him every day.
Even I studied from Anis Hussain, so
Alhamdulillah.
that's one thing that I guess for that 20 years or 25 years since Anis Hussain has been in existence, it has a number of students who have got into IBF through Anis Hussain.
Absolutely. In fact, Anis Hussain started in 1989. He started his test preparation in 89. So it's been 31 years now. 31
That's
years.
great. That's a number of. I'm assuming you have taught around 1,000 students.
We teach more than 10,000 every year for different courses. Alhamdulillah, all across our campuses. Alhamdulillah.
So that's something that's amazing in general. Coming back to our special episode for the admission process at the Institute of Business Administration, Karachi, right now, I want your ideas on, what has changed or how has it changed, or is it better or is it worse at this point, and how could it improve?
देखिए, there is no such thing as permanence, right? So as the environment changes, testing will also change. All the tests change. SAT has changed at least 3 times during this time. The GMAT has changed, the GRE has changed. Tests evolve all the time. So ये कहना कि जी IB का टेस्ट कभी चेंज नहीं होना चाहिए था या होता क्यों है, that's wrong. I believe होना चाहिए. But one thing that should happen is that once that IBA that decides on a curriculum and says, okay, this is what we want to test, then they should stick to that. That's the first thing that should happen. So what has happened over the last 10 years now, the IBA test varies too much. So it goes up and then it goes down, and it goes up and it goes down. And I think IBA would benefit, and the testing department would benefit to have more conversations with people like us. There are many people like me who do test preparation for IBA. Call us all in. I'll be happy to contribute. Or it's not for my benefit, it's for the benefit of the students and for the benefit of the institute. मैं तो पढ़ाता हूँ जी, मैं तो कुछ भी पढ़ा लूँगा जो मुझे आता है, जो मेरा सब्जेक्ट है. बट द इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट इज़ दैट द टेस्ट शुड सर्व अ पर्पस. एंड अगर उसका जो पर्पस है, जो अब तो स्क्रीनिंग पर्पस है, वो ये है कि हमने बेस्ट स्टूडेंट्स को चूज़ करना है. सो यू ऑल कम थ्रू दैट प्रोसेस, राइट? सो if IBA doesn't apply that process properly, then you end up with the wrong student body, and that sort of spoils the entire purpose, right? So that's the issue that IBA does need to address, and I'd be happy to help there. मैं आपको बताऊँ, एक ज़माने में, आज से कोई तकरीबन 8-9 साल पहले, एक MBA का टेस्ट हुआ था, और वो टेस्ट इतना awkward था, इतना weird था कि उसका जो कट ऑफ था, वो IBA को 4 possible cutoffs बनाने पड़े कि यार, you can meet cutoff 1, if that doesn't work, meet cutoff 2, if that doesn't work, meet cutoff 3, if that doesn't work, meet cutoff 4. I have the record, I have it. And when that happens, how does that work? There was another test, जिस ज़माने में IQ का सेक्शन हुआ करता था, उस ज़माने में there was one test, one particular IQ section जिसमें 10 questions थे, 40 maximum marks थे, negative marking उस ज़माने हुआ करती थी. और उस टेस्ट में
एक जो चीज अब तक हुई है, I guess the only thing that's good happening is ending the negative marking, because I guess that's something that, you know, some testing criteria, I remember I gave the GIK exam as well, and वहाँ negative marking is something that is an issue, you know, that I felt कि, you know, negative marking should not be there. I personally, that's my personal opinion. I don't know whether, you know, the institute believes this or not.
देखें, किसी की देखा देखी में करना इज़ नॉट स्मार्ट. नेगेटिव मार्किंग डज सर्व अ पर्पस इन माय ओपिनियन, और वो पर्पस ये है कि इट स्टॉप्स पीपल फ्रॉम टेकिंग रैंडम गेसेस. सो इवेंचुअली इफ यूर स्क्रीनिंग पीपल, देन व्हाई एनकरेज रैंडम गेसिंग? गेट देम टू डू द क्वेश्चन, राइट? व्हाई हैव देम टेक रैंडम गेसेस? बट खैर, अक्रॉस द बोर्ड अगर आप करते हैं तो हो सकता है कि स्टेटिस्टिकली डजंट रियली मेक दैट मच ऑफ अ डिफरेंस. आई हैवंट सीन द नंबर्स. इफ आई लुक एट द नंबर्स एंड आई डू a statistical comparison of what used to happen with the negative marking versus what happens now, I might be able to tell you better. But मेरा फिलवक्त ख्याल ये कि negative marking does serve a purpose. So that particular test from the for the IQ section, वो IQ section इतना weird था कि उसमें 10 सवाल थे, उसके maximum 40 marks थे, और उस साल IQ कट ऑफ जो आया था वो 2 out of 40 आया था. 2 out of 40, 2 out of 40, which means that you get one question right and you get 2 wrong, you're still in. Now, what is the difference between somebody who gets a 2 out of 40 versus somebody who gets a 1 out of 40? So the good thing that happened that particular year, obviously, there was a lot of hue and cry. People were upset with IBA. IBA, as usual, stuck to its admission policy. They said, well, if you have a 2, you get in. If you have a 1, sorry. There's not any difference between anybody who gets a 2 out of 40 versus a 1 out of 40. No difference, right? But from that year onwards, the good thing that IBA did was it responded. It removed the IQ section because there was just too much variation in it. So they removed the section, and I think that made sense. So IBA does here. I know that for a fact. I've seen it happen over so many years where IBA has come up with a policy, seen how the public reacts to it, how the student body reacts to it, and then they do change at times.
Like, it's about how much noise you can make. I guess that's something that you do, you know, how much noise as a student, you know, all this who have complained with a lot of policies that IBA has, with it's personally with the transfer saga in general, with people who are transferring once in at IBA. So that's a huge problem, I guess, the institute, and I think students need to continue to make and keep making those noises, because it's at one point they will start, you know, understanding, you know, there is a transfer, that people should be open to transfer to any other program once they get in the institute in general. Because, like, you know, I went into computer science, and I personally believe I'm not a computer science student. I might look a lot technical kind of person, but I'm not a very good computer science student. I would not say, you know, hire me as your programmer, because I might screw that up. So yeah, hire me for something else. That's something that I believe that's my skill, and perhaps that's not would be my academic qualification, but that's something that I have the skill and the expertise to work on. So I guess, you know, college is sometimes how Elon Musk says, it's to have a place where to have experience, network, or have fun in general.
Yes, there are many various purposes that a good college would serve. And, you know, we know, for instance, that in the Western world, when you go to these universities, you have the capability to transfer to different programs. I think that's an idea that IBA should look at. IBA is evolving, it's continuously evolving. And I think that, you know, as long as the student body continues to convey these messages to IBA and tries to explain to IBA how important it is, that because you see, when you're a young kid and, you know, you get into a particular program, you're not really certain how it's going to work out. Maybe you've done it for the fact that your parents asked you to join that program and all. But at the end of the day, you need to have that kind of independence to move forward, and IB encourages that independence. So I think that's something that IBA could look at, given that they have the resources to handle. So, for example, if everybody gets into the social sciences program and they want to transfer to the BBA program, maybe IB doesn't really have the resources. Maybe IB doesn't want to have so many BBA graduates. So those are the things that they need to balance. It's not easy, and I know I've been in the education sector for more than 25 years. I've managed a school for the last 13 years, an A levels college. I understand that these are issues that you have to find a path where you can solve them. So bring them together. But the important thing as an educationist is that you have to listen to your children, and you have to tell them how to develop that kind of maturity of thought, so that they don't just make a decision based on the whim of whatever comes to their head. It should be with a proper thought process behind it, so that you don't keep switching from one to the second to the third program. But yes, it's something that they should look at.
Right. So coming back to our core purpose of this episode is to discuss the admission process and how a student who is watching this episode right now, how will he or she get into IBA right now, and what's the process? Because right now it's around the corner. So whatever preparations
Absolutely.
you had to do, you have done by now, if not.
Absolutely.
So, now what's the plan for the last week, I guess?
So there's the short-term plan, there's a long-term plan. So let's start with the short-term plan because that's right around the corner, 1 week from today. The IBA test is comprised of two parts. There's mathematics and there's English. That's public knowledge. You can go to the IB website. IBA has past papers uploaded. You can download them and you can start practicing them. That is the first thing that you should do. There are many papers available on the IBA website, and within the short time frame that you have, the best thing that you can do is practice at least one or two tests per day. Practice them all, and then not just practice them, but practice them within the time frame given. So if the IBA has mentioned, let's say, a time limit of 45 minutes for a section, do that section in 45 minutes or try to finish it in 40. If IBA has mentioned a time limit of 75 minutes, that's usually what happens, somewhere between 75 to 90 minutes for the math section, do it in that particular amount of time. Make sure that you get into that groove. Get somebody from your family to time you. Sit in a quiet corner or sit in an environment.
Right. So regarding the short-term policy is that we understand something to practice the past papers in general and go through those past papers. A person who is now would be thinking for the round two for what's his whatever choice. What should he do?
Well, they should first of all take the round one, definitely. Because even if they're not prepared for the test, they'll get a very good idea of what the test looks like. They'll get an idea of the environment. And when you undergo a process, if you make mistakes, you learn from that process. There's no substitute for personal experience. Absolutely. So a lot of students who say, well, sir, I'm not ready to take the test. Why should I do it? I'm probably not going to clear it. My response is, regardless of whatever happens, you must take the test. So round one, go for it. Take the test. There's a test of the computer science program coming up in March. Take that as well. Regardless of whether you want to take an admission there or not, just take that test. It's obviously there's a requirement that you need to have a math background for that program, but if you can take the test just for the experience, go forward and take it. That's the first thing. The second thing is for round two. Now there are two kinds of people that you'll have: people who've already done their intermediate and A levels last year in 2020, and they have the time. I strongly urge them to start preparing for the second round as well. As soon as they've done the round one, you should start preparing for the second round. How do you prepare for the second round? Well, obviously you can do it individually yourself, or you could do it but with a test prep institute, or you could just get some friends together and start preparing for it. There isn't a one solution for everybody. I obviously do the test prep. People ask me a lot, does a test prep work? My response is, listen, you go to a good teacher, you can only benefit, you can't lose. And so
Agreed on that.
absolutely, you go
Like
to
I personally gave round two, and well, I went to an institution personally for ECAT, right? So I was an engineering background student. So my personal was like I wanted to get into NUST, and that was the game plan. I gave the NUST exam twice as well. Didn't got in.
Mhm.
I did give the exam for GIK. I did give an exam for FAST as well.
Mhm.
So I did get into those both institute, and my friends were
Alhamdulillah.
giving the IB exam. So they said, Kiana, why don't you give them? So I didn't really prepare for the IB exam in general. I just practiced those four, 5 past papers, got the answer sheet from someone else to practice those. And I was busy that week, even the week before the exam was going to take place. So I had this event whole day. So 10 to 4, Monday to Friday, I had this whole event, and Sunday was the exam day. And I used to take in the morning the one paper with me, and I was to solve in the ground. Okay, this is the questions that I need to solve in general. And I just went to the exam room, and I guess that was the easiest exam that I felt personally, comparing from the engineering background exams that I had given before.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I did. Matlab, eventually, if you're asking me if does test prep work or not, it might or it might not for you. For I personally, where I am right now, I would say perhaps test prep might have not worked for me. I just gave the IB exam. For me, it wasn't easy, but perhaps I did go for the test prep for engineering,
Absolutely.
and that's perhaps that harnessed my skills in general and
Absolutely.
polished me in general. So it was very easy for me to get into IBA. And
Yes, and with the engineering math that you did, the IB math became easier.
exactly.
Plus the test prep that you did for NUST and GIK and all, that also made your math easier. So you were ready.
Agreed,
know,
right? To be
and-
honest, like the English was I guess for me was the English part was the comparatively the easiest part that I've ever solved at any other exam. So that was something that but I was but even though it was the easiest exam that I had given, and I thought it was the easiest, I still got shortlisted for the interview. And I said and I thought ki, perhaps interview at that one point I didn't know ki interview people could have passed directly, because during my brother's time interview was a mandatory thing,
compulsory,
and
yes.
which I hate that they removed it, because that actually brings the right people to the campus right now. And I did give the interview, and I scored well in the interview, and I got in general. And but a lot of students who fail during the interview process, and I feel ki, the IBA should be making it mandatory to have the interview process, because sooner or later that person is going to graduate and he's going to give an interview, and some person, and it's better to prepare them now, because the student body that is going to meet at IBA is going to be with different backgrounds. He or she needs to able to communicate his or her own ideas. And I personally believe that the interview should be mandatory, and I think for personally I believe they should bring it back.
I agree with that partially. So I do believe that there is a lot of merit in having the interview. I went through an IBA interview, a very interesting interview. We'll come to that story later. But I believe कि यार 800,000 लोगों का इंटरव्यू लेना आसान काम नहीं है, right? So that's what happens when IBA tries to take the interview. और दूसरा ये भी था कि IBA का जो इंटरव्यू में रिजेक्शन रेट था वो बहुत लो था. So previously जब इंटरव्यू mandatory था, so everybody would take the interview. So if 1,000 people were called for the interview, about 900 or 800 would get in. Only about 15 to 20% would get rejected. Yes, that's the fact. Yes, we have the data to prove that. So hardly anybody would get rejected. So you'd have to be really terrible to be rejected. Because देखें बात ये है, आपने जो कहा ना कि communication skills important है, तो मेरी communication skills कोई ख़ास नहीं थी जब मैं IBA में join कर रहा था, और मैं बड़ा shy किस्म का introvert किस्म का इंसान था. IBA taught me all of this. Whatever I am right now, it's because of my university. Full credit to IBA. Full credit to professors like Mr. Fazl Hassan, Allah उनको जन्नत नसीब करे, राव निसार साहब, बहुत सारे अच्छे टीचर्स गुजरे हैं, ज़फ़र सिद्दीकी साहब, इतरत साहब. सो लॉट ऑफ द टीचर्स, मिस यास्मीन ज़फ़र थी, उनका नाम नहीं लूँगा तो नाराज़ होंगी. बहुत अच्छे टीचर्स गुजरे हैं और सब ने बहुत सिखाया है. तो अगर मैं इंटरव्यू उस वजह से क्लियर ना करता कि जी मेरी कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स अच्छी नहीं है, तो मैं ये सब मिस आउट कर जाता. और आज अल्लाह का शुक्र है कि आई हैव मेड इट इन दैट पर्टिकुलर सेंस. तो आई थिंक वो एक रोल है. अच्छा, दूसरा जो डिफरेंस है अफान, वो ये है कि ऑलमोस्ट all the universities in the world, they don't take interviews for the undergrad level. It's hardly very few that take it. Even LUMS in Pakistan doesn't do it and hasn't been doing it for a very long time. The interview becomes more important for the graduate programs, because for the graduate programs you're trying to gauge the focus, because graduate programs are a completely different thing altogether. There's less instruction and more discussion. Okay, that's what the graduate program looks like. So for the graduate program, it makes a lot of sense. For a graduate program, no question, you must always have an interview. For the undergrad, it's a 50-50. You could have it if you can manage it. जब हम IBA में अप्लाई कर रहे होते थे तो 5,000 बंदा अप्लाई करता था और 100 का दाखिला होता था. My batch was 100 people. Okay, 2 sections. Then there was the executive, that was another 45 people. So maximum 150 people for undergrad in a year, maximum. तो 150 को चूज़ करने के लिए 200 लोगों का इंटरव्यू करना है, तो इंटरव्यू में वी डिडंट हैव 2 टीचर्स, वी हैड द होल फैकल्टी सिटिंग. दिस वाज अ ह्यूज लॉन्ग रूम, द डायरेक्टर्स रूम. डायरेक्टर साहब खुद डॉक्टर हफीज पाशा एट दैट पॉइंट टुक माय इंटरव्यू with the 2 deputy directors, Mumtaz Saab and Professor Fazl Hassan
Like
Saab,
that,
sitting
in
right next to him, and then 10 teachers on the right, 10 teachers on the left. So you had 23 people in the room, and you knew that you would get a question asked from anywhere. Imagine the kind of stress that put us under. That was an interview. It was fun. I mean, you knew that you could have had it. So 10 मिनट में आपकी ज़िंदगी की तमाम वो कंगाल के आपको साफ कर सकते थे. वो मज़ेदार चीज़ थी. अब आपने 1000 स्टूडेंट्स को बुला के एडमिशन इंटरव्यू करना है, इट्स नॉट इजी, इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. सो कंसिडरिंग दैट, आई थिंक इट माइट बी a bit unfeasible for IB to do it all the time. But yes, I think cutoffs का फ़र्क है. जो cutoff for non-interview versus interview है वो बहुत कम है. So at a score of, for example, 244 पे आप interview के बगैर एडमिशन मिल जाता है, 240 पे आपको इंटरव्यू के लिए आना पड़ता है. 1 सवाल का फ़र्क या 2 सवाल का फ़र्क है. आई थिंक दैट गैप इज़ टू नैरो. जब इंटरव्यू लेना ही है तो गैप बढ़ा दें. यानी आप ये कहें कि ठीक है जी 244 पे या 240 पे बगैर इंटरव्यू एडमिशन हो जाएगा और 200 पे आपको इंटरव्यू के लिए कॉल किया जाएगा. तो बात समझ में आती है कि बीच में इतना गैप है कंसिडरेबल कि यार चलो देयर इज अ लार्ज इनफ गैप, देन you might find a few gems from here and there.
yeah, that's something
That makes sense. But 240 and 244, not enough difference to warrant that kind of a.
agree. Like I had 2 questions that counted me to give the interview. So I agree that's something that that's something that one needs to, in general, one the administration process needs to
Yes, they could look
be
at that.
involved.
Yes.
So coming to the interview in general, how should one prepare for the interview in general? Okay, right now for the current process, how should one prepare for the interview?
Okay, so before you start preparing for the interview, you need to know what the interview looks at, right? So what are the few things that the interview process looks at? Number one, it looks at your communication skills. Okay, that's the first and foremost thing, because the way you walk in, the way you dress, the way you greet people, the way you answer your questions, the communication skills. Okay, related to that is your confidence level as well. Obviously, remember, confidence is one thing, overconfidence is another thing, so watch out for that. So that's something. Very thin line, and you need to know how to walk that line. Number 3, understanding the environment around you, understanding what IBA is looking from you. You're coming to study at an institute. You can't be rebellious at the interview. You can be rebellious later on, like you told me you were a bit, but you can't be rebellious at the interview. At the interview, you need to know what the interview panel is looking for, and you need to be able. That's called awareness. So if you don't show awareness, you can walk away, or you might as well not show up. Okay. The fourth thing is you need to know what your career plans are. Obviously, if you don't know what your career plans and they ask you, well, why do you want to come to IB? Like, well, I don't know. Dad said I should apply. I got a friend who came here too, and all that. So they can say, man, walk away. So know what program it is, why you're there, and what you want to do with it in your future. Do you have some kind of plan? Now, it's perfectly fine to not follow that plan later on, but at least have some kind of an idea of what you want to do in life. Okay, and if you don't have that idea, not a problem. Go talk to a counselor. Come talk to me. Go talk to your teachers. Go talk to a senior at IBA, somebody who's studying there, who's graduated. Go talk to them. They'll tell you what you could do with your life. Nothing else works, go talk to your mother or your father. For once, go talk to them. They might know something, right? And that'll be. And then once you have all of that, then you've got like a paint a portrait. You've got to have a conversation and be honest and be frank and be upfront, because if you can present your personality the way you can do that, don't worry about stepping on the wrong side. Okay, will you know the answer to every question? Of course not. It's possible they ask you 10 questions. They might ask you technical questions. Yes, a very common question, what's your favorite subject? I got that question. In fact, that was the only question I was asked. What's your favorite subject? Mathematics. And then Dr. Pasha, the director himself, well, he asked me to figure out the turning point of a function. So I said, well, this is how you do it. And he said, are you sure? And I said, yes. Oh, then he said, well, how do you know it's a minimum point or a maximum point? And I told him how that is done. He's like, are you sure? And I was like, yes, sir, I'm sure. And he's like, Mr. Ghaffar, please stand up and leave.
That would be something that you thought it's ended.
My heart collapsed. I'm like, sir. I thought perhaps I should ask him, sir, have I made a mistake? But then I calmed down and I said, thank you, sir. And I stood up, said, Assalamu alaikum, and I left. I didn't argue with him. I thought it was a trick question, and I was wondering whether if I'd actually asked the next question. I've always wondered if I'd asked the next question that was on the tip of my tongue. कि, "Sir, मैं कोई गलती तो नहीं करती?" I would have been blasted with questions from all over. So I thought it was a good time to escape. It took like maybe a minute.
The whole
Uh,
interview?
the whole interview, 1 minute. I mean, that's the entire conversation I had with him. I just told you the entire conversation.
Like, that's
I
like the
remember.
shortest conversation. Like during my
Yes.
interview,
Yes.
like I went into computer science. I told them कि I'm interested in computer science, and said are you passionate? I said I'm passionate about computer science, this and that, and I had this whole game plan with me. That has all fallen apart. But in general I told him, and I told him I'm passionate about computer science. So he said, did you had any experience in computer science? So I said
Hmm.
I did computers at O levels. And he said, why didn't you do an A levels? I said, I had this chemistry, physics, maths, and those three subjects are very big subjects, and I got an A's on those three subjects. So I said, I was good enough. I didn't wanted to burden myself. So he said, you said you know programming. I said, I did in no levels. There's a question on arrays. Can you
Mhm.
solve that on the board? And I said, well, I know basics of computer programming. I don't know how to solve this question. But I think that's how I got 86% of the interview. I guess that's the only question I think when I went on the back foot. Other than that, I guess I guess the
Well,
extracurricular activities
that's
and then and
it's a
that.
very common line of questioning. What's your favorite subject? Oh, it's mathematics, or it's physics, it's chemistry, it's economics, it's accounting. What is an accounting equation? How do you balance it? What if there's what are the kinds of errors you could have? And all that. I mean, you can get questions of all kinds. So if you're going to an interview, you need to know what you've studied, right? So it always pays to revise your concepts, at least the basic concepts. So that they're going to ask you a few basic concepts. Then if you answer those if you can't answer those basic concepts, that just tells them that you don't know much. Then it's up to them. If they don't like you, they won't take you in. If they like you, they'll take you in. So you should know the basic and the medium concepts at least. And the idea is, if you've just taken your intermediate exam or your A level exam, तो अब आपको याद ही होगा ना, अब एग्जाम तो अभी करीब ही है, आप उसी आसपास ही होता है, तो आपकी तैयारी तो होनी चाहिए. So I always tell my students to revise their concepts, because if you don't, you can get in trouble.
So coming to the end of this episode, we'll discussing the final tip that you want to give to the students right now. Okay, what should they do? One final thing that you want to say.
You want to talk about the test or overall?
Overall.
So overall, जो देखिए, मुझसे किसी ज़माने में किसी शख्स ने पूछा कि यार तुमने ये corporate life छोड़ के teaching में क्यों आ गए? You had it made, you were in banking, then you went to Procter and Gamble. Procter and Gamble में usually 3 साल के बाद बाहर posting हो जाती है if you do well. You live abroad and all that. Why would you want to stay back in Pakistan, or why did you go into teaching? I've always wondered about that question, but I think the biggest thing was that I am, alhamdulillah, and even at that point I felt I was very good at what I do, and because I got first-hand feedback from people, all kinds of people, friends. I taught my friends at IBA. Professor Fazli Hassan asked me to present a concept to the class. It was about stocks, and I did. And we 3 guys were chosen to do that concept, different parts of that same concept. When I did my bit, he came to me and he said, in front of the entire class, all 100 people, 90 people, we were together in that big bunch, and he came to me and he said, तुम्हारे अंदर टीचर वाले जरासीम मौजूद हैं. And this was when I was in my bachelor's, right? So I was really, I knew that अगर मैं ये काम करूँगा तो इंशाल्लाह, as long as honestly करूँगा, तो मैं फेल नहीं हो सकता. ये मुझे इस बात का कॉन्फिडेंस था. एंड अगर मैं शायद कॉर्पोरेट लाइफ में रहता तो मैं अच्छा होता अपने काम में, बट शायद मैं बेस्ट ना होता. बट आई थिंक इस वक्त मैं अपने काम में अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह आई कैन से आई एम वन ऑफ द बेस्ट, इफ नॉट द बेस्ट. आई एम इट्स नॉट अबाउट ब्रैगिंग, इट्स अबाउट knowing my environment and knowing what I'm up against. So alhamdulillah, I know that I'm one of the best teachers in this line of work. Okay, there are great teachers otherwise as well, and many of them are very very good, much better than I am. तो काबिलियत बड़ी ज़रूरी है. अगर आपने एक मूवी देखी, वन ऑफ माई फेवरेट मूवीज़, आमिर खान्स 3 Idiots. इट्स अ ब्यूटीफुल मूवी बिकॉज इट रिमाइंड्स अस ऑफ आवर लाइफ. और उसके एंड में वो एक बड़ा अच्छा जुमला है जो वो कहता है. इट्स अ वेल रिटन लाइन, एंड दैट लाइन सेज दैट काबिल बनो, अगर काबिल बनोगे तो कामयाबी तुम्हारे पीछे हमेशा भागेगी। एंड दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन लाइफ। आप जो भी काम करें उसको अपनी काबिलियत के मुताबिक करें। एक तो होता है मेरी ख्वाहिश और एक होती है मेरी काबिलियत। अगर दोनों मिल जाएं तो यू गॉट इट मेड। अगर दोनों नहीं मिलते तो कोशिश करें उनको मिलाने की, और मगर काबिलियत पे हमेशा काम करें, राइट? दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट।
Right, that's it. I guess all those who is watching right now, and okay, I hope and inshallah you will all get in. If not
इंशाल्लाह।
get in this round, perhaps in the next round, and perhaps in the any other future rounds at IBA or any other
इंशाल्लाह।
good university in Karachi or in Pakistan as well. And thank you for Mr. Salman giving us the input for this whole process.
You're most welcome. In fact, this Sunday we're doing a Facebook Live session where I'm solving a few of the past paper problems. It's at 4 p.m. this Sunday, परसों इंशाल्लाह। तो अगर आपकी एपिसोड उस वक्त तक आ जाएगी तो वो लाइव ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं, और अगर उसके बाद आएगी तो वो उसको देख सकते हैं। हमारी उसकी जो वीडियो अवेलेबल होगी फेसबुक पेज पे। एंड देयर आर अ फ्यू वीडियोस ऑन हाउ टू प्रिपेयर फॉर द IBA टेस्ट। माय ब्रदर इरफान, हु इज आल्सो एन IBA graduate, he's made a few of those videos. Noman has also input. He's also an IBA graduate, alhamdulillah. So we're three brothers, we're all IBA graduates. चौथा वाला रेयान जो है, he's a graduate from CBM. He wanted to go to CBM. उसके दो CBM जा रहे थे तो he wanted to go there. But alhamdulillah we're all in the same line. So अगर आप चाहें तो आप वो वीडियोस देख के भी उससे काफ़ी प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं इंशाल्लाह।
Right. So I guess all those who want to get that in, we could also do that. And that's it. And this is your host, Mohammad Afan, and see you in the next episode. It's a pleasure. Thank you.